Today we are talking a lot about wellness. Physical wellness is spoken about. Mental wellness is spoken about. Emotional wellness is spoken about. Emotional wellness is spoken about as well. I don't hear a lot of people talking about professional wellness.
I was just wondering that, I of course threw it all to start spinning my yarns, but that's very different to suddenly leading the life of a monk. So where was that trigger? What was that final trigger that made you make that switch?
I think what really is important is in the world today we are talking a lot about wellness. Physical wellness is spoken about. Mental wellness is spoken about. Emotional wellness is spoken about. Emotional wellness is spoken about as well. I don't hear a lot of people talking about professional wellness.
Okay.
And when we're talking about professional wellness, I'm not just talking about somebody who's doing well professionally.
Okay.
There's a difference between doing well and feeling well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Doing well is your expertise that takes you to the heights of your success and achievements, pays you well. But feeling well is you love what you do and you enjoy what you do. And a huge chunk of people out there are doing well, not sure if they're feeling well. And back in the day, I thought to myself, hey, look, if we would spend about 5 hours, about 8 hours a day on an average working, average, and work for 5 days a week,
Right.
we're working for about 40 hours a week.
Absolutely.
If we are working for 50 weeks a year,
Yes.
2 weeks holiday,
Right.
that makes it 2,000 hours a year.
Right.
And if you're working for an average 45 years, it's a daunting 90,000 hours of my life going at my workplace. That averages to about 10 years of your life. I'm not sure if I'm just going to do well and not feel well 90,000 hours of my life. Right? So back in the day when I was with Hewlett Packard, I was thinking to myself that I'm doing well, I'm being paid well, but am I feeling well with my work? I'm going to have to spend 90,000 hours doing this stuff.
Yes.
And there was a big fat no that came out of my mind. I'm good at it, but I don't think I'm cut for this. Obviously, the next question that came in my mind was, then what am I cut for?
Absolutely.
Right. And that's when I realized that for me, my passion was not so much to work with systems and machines as an engineer.
Okay.
My passion was to work with people, to explore life, to understand life, help people with their lives. The one way to go about it was to probably study psychology. But then I also had a spiritual calling. So I thought, why not explore my own spiritual calling and see if I have answers to life and dealing with life in spiritual philosophy and wisdom, which can then help people as well. So that's what made me take that plunge and switch over from, or shall I say, upgrade from electrical engineering to lifestyle engineering. You might say it. You might say that, Now, and it's very fulfilling. It's been 25, 26 years, no regrets so far, touch wood. It's been very fulfilling. The journey's been incredible, very satisfying. I also want to say one thing, that I took a risk.
Yes.
When you take that plunge, leaving the secure and going to the insecure,
Of course.
moving from the certain to the uncertain, moving from the road that's taken to the road less traveled,
Absolutely.
right? You take a risk, and I feel I took an uncalculated risk. It was uncalculated. You didn't know what was coming ahead. But when the passion inside of you is burning so powerfully, it's like a guy in love with a girl. It's just burning so much, it's irresistible. It's irresistible. When I do tell people, I say that, look, don't take such kind of risks though. Because you have real life issues, financial liabilities, mortgages to pay, terminally ill patients at home often, right? And you need to look at that side. And if you take that plunge and just jump straight away into following your passion just so that you feel well,
That's right.
you may not be able to address this real life.
Absolutely. I tell a lot of youngsters who come to me for advice about writing, I say, look, the early days when I got into the world of writing, I was writing in the middle of the night, but I was still putting in a full day of work. And so my one piece of advice to them is usually don't lose the day job. because it's very difficult to write when you're hungry, but you did precisely that. You quit the day job.
I did, and that's what I don't advise. I'm saying keep your day job to do well, so your financial needs are addressed, but also pursue your passion and what you love to do so that you feel well.
Absolutely.
And maybe one day your feel well will also be your mainstream profession. Who knows,
Absolutely.